Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, The Mystery Masters. Today's discussion on a topic: the untold truth about Satanism. If there is an overarching belief somewhere, then it's all but assured that someone is going to go against the grain. Sometimes, it's pretty innocuous, like debating the superiority of chunky or smooth peanut butter, or whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza. But things get serious when you turn the focus of discussion towards religion. And when it comes to a religion like Christianity, which has dominated history and many cultures for thousands of years now, that sort of tension goes from simple to fraught very quickly. Just ask the Satanists. 1. Satan wasn't Christianity's enemy, no. 1 for a long time. If you were to travel back in time, meet up with some early Christians, and ask them who they considered to be their worst spiritual enemy, you'd be pretty surprised. Depending on the time and place, they might point to execution-happy Roman authorities or even fellow Christians with different doctrinal notions, like those pesky Arianists. But bring up Satan, and chances are good that you'd be met with quizzical looks and blank stares. That's because Satan didn't become the big bad of Christianity until centuries after the religion's founding. That's not to say there wasn't some form of big-time devil around in religious thought before then. According to the BBC, other religions like Zoroastrianism already had a pretty similar concept, with evil represented by an entity known as Ahriman. 2. Tales of devil worshippers frighten medieval Christians. Given that Satan as the great adversary wasn't around for much of early Christianity, the idea of Satanists who honor him wasn't prevalent either. But were medieval Satanists real? It's hard to say. Some contemporary sources claim that orders like the Knights Templar and religious oddballs like the Cathars were in league with Satan, as Loyola University's Student Historical Journal notes. It could well be that the Church Fathers, alarmed by the rise of powerful orders that threatened to undermine their authority, fabricated such claims. It could also be linked to lingering pagan practices, though such ideas remain speculative. It is interesting to note that, as the conversation reports, some of the earliest tales of a satanic conspiracy of witches were met with skepticism by a wide range of people. 3. Satan became a magnetic antihero in the 17th century. Though there may have been groups of Satan fans scattered hither and yon throughout medieval Europe, it's safe to say that their beliefs were not exactly popular in the overwhelmingly Christian landscape. Yet, as the centuries wore on, that notion of Satan as a grotesque evildoer, represented by gut-churning images of medieval artists who weren't afraid to delve into some body horror, got some pushback. Ironically, one of the greatest sources of this new cultural narrative came from a faithful Christian, John Milton. To be fair, Milton was a pretty liberal Christian, at least for 17th century England, per Britannica. Yet it's remarkable that he would write his epic poem, Paradise Lost, and feature the great evildoer as a kind of romantic anti-hero. Whether or not Milton meant to create one of the first great emo figureheads isn't entirely clear, but that's certainly how readers interpreted the dark, brooding, and deeply individualist Satan of the poem. 4. Some 18th century spell books speak of pacts with Satan. By the 18th century, the worship of Satan was in a complicated place. Did people gravitate towards him out of cultural interest? Or was there some genuine belief there? It's still difficult to tell just how many people really believed that worshipping Satan was a good idea, much less what percentage did so in organized groups. But a couple of spell books do contain tantalizing clues that people were still engaging in some form of early Satanism. 5. There is evidence of satanic black masses being held in 18th century Europe. Paris in the 17th century could be a treacherous place, at least if you were unlucky enough to know Louis XIV. Sure, the Sun King was incredibly rich and powerful, but his court was full of treachery. Your situation there was tenuous and could turn foul overnight if the king grew bored with you, or found you were no longer useful. Is it any wonder that some turned to devil worship? At least, those are the allegations that arose during the explosive affair of the poisons. Part of the jockeying for position amongst paramours of the king left one woman, Madame de Montespan, desperate for Louis's attention. She turned to Lavoisin, a notorious poisoner, to eliminate her rivals. What's more, she may have been one of a number of aristocrats who turned to Satanism for temporal gain. 6. The Satanic Temple isn't actually religious. While both the Church of Satan and the Satanic Panic still have a presence in the modern era, chances are that neither are what comes to mind when you think of the cutting edge of Satanism. That honor, dubious or otherwise, goes to the Satanic Temple. The Satanic Temple is firmly in the atheistic Satanism camp, as per Vox. Indeed, it could be more accurately described as a political organization. Members are often busy organizing against religious hegemony via eye-catching demonstrations, such as when the Satanic Temple unveiled a Baphomet statue. As NPR reported, members wanted to install the statue on the grounds of the Arkansas State Capitol, where a monument to the Christian Ten Commandments had been placed in 2017. The Baphomet statue was never officially installed there, but, as of 2020, the Ten Commandments monument was under trial after the Satanic Temple, the ACLU, and numerous other plaintiffs brought a complaint against the religious monument on state property. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the untold truth about Satanism. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. As always, we encourage healthy discussions in the comments section below. Until next time, stay curious and open-minded.